Right. Like the guy's like trying to get this huge fish in, you know, and you're seeing him struggling, and then like Margate's playing in the background. It's like added to the video footage, you know how they do, and it's awesome. So, I mean, yeah, we totally went off on a tangent. You asked if we would go, if it was a shoe company or a skate company. Yes, it's something I would love to pursue.
Come on. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I would love to pursue.
That's how it flows, you know. That's how we do.
Definitely. We actually have a Margate skateboard. We have two Margate skateboards, actually. One-offs,
not
mass production. Not mass productions. One we did for the engineer at West Beach Studios when we recorded our first record. Remember? Leo gave him his skateboard. And we drew a big old M with Margate. Remember that?
The Royal We.
The Royal We. Yeah, the Royal We.
I can't write my name.
And then I painted, I did a skate deck for the band, the original three-piece that we had. And I painted our faces and our image, whatever, I guess, on there.
We're going to have to talk about some licensing with that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We haven't really discussed that.
That's offline.
And actually, our last show, Home Dude, remember Home Dude? Oh my God, you guys are amazing! Oh my God, I got a skateboard company. Look, this drunk guy. He was like pretty much on stage with us because he was just loving the band so much. He was freaking out of every single song. And after we got done, he like jumped on stage and was like, "I want to put you guys on a skateboard. I'm making a punk rock skateboard deck with like." He just started naming off all these punk bands, and he's like, "You guys need to be on my skateboard. I'm going to put you on there. We're going to have it at every store," and all this stuff. And so there could be another Margate skateboard out there.
You could have made it already.
You could have made it already.
All right, cool. So just briefly, I want each one of you to kind of describe your style, your music, etc., kind of how you guys think your style is.
Do you want us to describe how we think the style of Margate is, or our own personal musical tastes?
I guess both. The style of Margate and then your taste.
I think the taste of all three of us kind of goes into the Margate style. I think everyone kind of brings their own, like, what they like. But I know collectively we all love punk rock. From 70s through the 90s, mostly the mid-90s, early 90s style punk. But I think that for me, my idea as far as what Margate sounds like, or our style, I think is very much like a skate punk type of backbeat, but the vocals are a lot more soulful, and we try to implement the three-part harmonies a lot, so we have like a lot of Beach Boys-y type of harmonies that we try to do. So I guess for me it'd be like a real melodic, soulful punk rock and rock and roll, because we have other songs that aren't necessarily punk rock. But
okay. I think it's pretty accurate. I mean, we all grew up listening to the oldies station and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
love
whereas
oldies.
Some people maybe are elitists and they say we're punk rockers, we only listen to punk rock. We're kind of the opposite in that we all like punk rock, but we all listen to every style of music, and from Marvin Gaye and even back to the Drifters and
Buddy Holly,
soul music and like the early rock and roll,
Motown stuff and all the
even jazz and blues,
the Kinks and like all the stuff from the '60s. And
yeah, we're pretty. If you put any of one of our three iPods on random, you're gonna get some really wacky out there stuff from the last 60, 70 years of music. We all love music. We work in the music industry. We spend a lot of time in our band. We collectively can play 100 cover songs running the gamut from
from the Ramones to Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah, so I think we have that common thread too. I think we all like similar styles of music while also embracing most styles of music that is in that sort of song format.
Okay, would you say it about the same, Steve?
Yeah, I'd say the same. I think the one thing we didn't touch on is I think our band is honest. Like, we're not up there pretending to have fun. We're not up there necessarily putting on a show, so to speak. We're actually up there having fun. Okay. And so when you come and you see us play, and you see us goofing around, and you see us laughing, and you see us smiling, it's an honest smile. When we're up there making fun of each other, like, we do it because that's how we behave at rehearsal. Like, it's just an honest and real representation of what we are, I think, as people. So you can listen to the band, and you can know what's going on through the lyrics in Alex's world. You can listen to the banter that we have live and going back and forth and see that it is real and it's not some staged fake thing that we're trying to like impress people. Like we're up there being ourselves, having a good time.
And our music's organic in that same way. Like we don't try to write a specific style or a specific genre or whatever. We just whatever we play is what comes out. Like we don't say this next album has to be really heavy metal or this next album has to be really mellow, and we're not really.
We haven't followed the trends, that's for sure. That's probably why no one's ever heard of us in 9 years. I mean, I think we, finally after 9 years.
Like it, what puts a smile on our face?
Yeah,
and that's it. If we don't like it, we don't play it.
Exactly. We're not going to play something that we don't like playing it. We're not going to play it for sure, and that's definitely it. Like we don't. All of a sudden they're like, okay, we need to play rockabilly because that's what's big right now, or we need to start playing some Americana music because that's what's big, or anything else like that. I mean, we've been playing, our albums are pretty eclectic, I think. They have like a various sounds, except for the EP the EP has only 6 songs on it. It's pretty straight ahead, like stylistic. It stays pretty close to each other, the songs. But the other albums are all over the place, and this one here is pretty, it sticks.
Cohesive.
The new one, it's pretty cohesive.
I think they've got more cohesive
As
the
the years
It's like
go by.
listening to the catalog of the Police, I'm telling you. You listen to their first couple records, you're like, what the hell's going on? And then as it got later on and they kind of were together longer, more of a sound started to formulate. Yeah, I think we're kind of doing that same structure, except for in 9 years, no one knows who we are.
Yeah. But that's okay, because now we're finally starting to get out there, and I think that the time that we're in a good place at the right time right now for what we're playing and for who we're able to play shows with. And I was talking to someone about the 15-year waves of music, like how every 15 years, whatever was big 15 years ago is coming back in with just a little different stylistic, so it's like in the 70s or maybe not 70s, but maybe in the 80s, like a lot of the music had the 50s stuff in there and stuff from the 60s in there, and you'd have like all the saxophone and everything. And then when punk rock or West Coast punk was really big, it was like 96, 94. So it's 15 years later. Now all these punk bands that were around back then are all getting back together. People are putting out new albums. All the other, a lot of more bands are starting to come around that kind of have that sound to it. So I think as far as our band is concerned, that we're just in the right place at the right time, kind of riding this next wave of this West Coast punk backbeat.
It's almost every other decade, really, because punk in the 70s was like a 50s revival.
Totally.
Right? So like all the Misfits and all that kind of stuff really leaned on like 50s music, and the Ramones, that's just
straight up
music
50s.
With distorted guitar. And then in the 90s, you had all the Fat Records, Epitaph kind of bands, and now we're in the teens, I guess, 2 more decades later. I think it's just another version of it, where the musicians are actually a whole lot better.
We try to be.
A lot of times we do what we can.
Yeah, a lot of times people are like, oh, you should play something like this, and we're like, yeah, we're not that good.
What's Fat Mike say about punk rock? He's like, it's good music with good intentions played by terrible musicians.
Right.
That's funny. Well, where can people go to check out your music? And
MargateMusic.com is the homepage, and that'll take you to, there's song samples, there's tour dates, there's all that stuff.
Videos.
So yeah, it'll link you out to everywhere. And of course we have Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, what have you, but MargateMusic.com's got all the links to those things, and it's got a mailing list sign-up sheet. And then our record label, Cybertracks, is cyber-tracks.com. And they've got our newest album for sale there, and links to some other stuff, T-shirts and other goodies.
Yeah. You can also find us like on iTunes, Pandora,
Spotify.
I tried to tell too many people we're on Spotify.
It's so different than Pandora.
I know, but I just like, well, you know what, actually, in this circle it's fine. In this circle it's fine, but when we were on tour and we were trying to sell CDs, and this guy comes up and he's like, how much for a CD? And it's like, oh, £5, and he was looking at it, and he's like, are you guys on Spotify? And we're like, yeah. And he goes, okay. And he just walked away. So I was like, oh.
No Spotify.
Yeah. He's saying, no, what is that?
Please, support artists. Support artists.
MargateMusic.com is definitely the hub.
right, cool. Well, thanks, fella, for doing this.
dude.
I
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
man.
And,
You're awesome.
fun, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right, guys. Peace.
Cool.